Hello and welcome to Zerocarbonista Series 6, The Cow in the Room. I'm Ian Collins, and this is your number one go-to environment-based podcast. Remember, if it's green, it's in. And I'll tell you what, Dale, only 9 days into the year as we record this, we've got enough material to last us a year.
Yeah, we have. And I just came back from Cornwall for a few days. I caught all the storms down there, which was fabulous.
Yeah.
And caught the snow on the way back. Got stuck on the A30. That was all fun. I just whistled up the chopper and off out of there, as you do, when you're me.
That's right, yeah.
And
the butler threw it in, didn't he?
And I'm having that like shattered after holiday feeling. Do you know what I mean? I had a
Yeah.
great few days off in Amsterdam. I'm really feeling quite tired now. But I think this will wake me up.
This is the wake up. This
especially
is the
what's
mother,
coming.
the mother of all wake ups. And we start with Right Wing Nut. It's back for 2025. And who else would we choose to select for our first entry than the next president of the United States?
The mother of all right wing nuts.
There he is, Donald Trump.
Yeah.
What's he been up to?
And he's got a brother now, hasn't he? He's got a brother in arms.
Terry Trump.
No, Elon Musk.
Oh, Elon.
He's gone nuts. He's gone proper nuts.
Elon Musk. Now, we've been, I think it's fair to say, it's worth just mentioning this, that we've been talking about Elon Musk before most people had heard of Elon Musk.
Do you think we made him famous?
I think it might be down to us, actually, inadvertently. But he's sprung over the last year or more from the ether, like some kind of illusion. And now he wants to unseat our government.
Yeah.
And
Nigel Farage.
He was Nigel Farage's best friend. Now he hates Nigel Farage, and he's essentially being a bit of a dick.
He's being a dick, absolutely.
And he used to, by the way, half an hour ago, he was a Democrat supporter.
Oh, and I just read today that he's had 200 million in subsidies from our government.
Yeah, how did that for his cars?
How does he get that?
So presumably, if you've got that for his, presumably every country has given him something similar.
I think so. That's probably why he's the richest man in the world.
I think it's as simple as
Certainly
that.
A contributor.
Yeah.
But his ravings on social media are just off the charts. I'll tell you what I think is happening. I think he wants to be the next president of America. He's seen how Trump operates. He's seen what got him to where he is with his extreme, illogical, untruthful, provocative statements. And he thinks, I can do that. And I've got a platform to do it on.
Yeah.
And that's his game.
I think it is. And if we thought he was bonkers, I mean, the man that he's going to serve, Donald Trump, has been doing all sorts of tomfoolery, like buying up bits of the world that don't belong to him.
Oh, trying to, and threatening to invade them if they won't sell. I mean, whoever did that, you know what I mean? But I think Trump's a warm-up act for Musk, actually, when he gets...
That's a really good theory. I've not heard that, but it's sort of... It does kind of make sense.
It does make sense. Scary sense.
Can he be the president, though, if he's... Oh, he can, can't he? Even though he's South African.
He's an American citizen, I think.
He's probably an American citizen now.
You'll get Trump to change the law, if not. So Trump, right? I mean, this is brilliant. He says on day one, he's going to basically ban wind. There won't be any wind built under his presidency, he says.
Yeah.
I mean... The stark contrast between him and Labour, Starmer's Labour, who on day one unbanned wind, onshore wind, is just incredible.
Why would he ban it? I mean, here's the thing: even if you're suspicious and say, "Well, I'm not sure if this is," I think there's another evolution to come. I think this is the Betamax of the new energy. Even if you thought, you wouldn't have to ban it.
No, you wouldn't. It's a stupid thing to do because it's like the cheapest, fastest form of energy that we can build. And several Republican states like Texas, for example, are just running away with it, having huge economic benefits from it. And he says he won't let anything be built, not consented, but built. And there's going to be a lot of projects in the planning process getting ready to build, billions of dollars committed. I see him getting his ass sued if he tries to do that. I can't see it happening.
Well, yeah, what's he going to close down companies that already exist? I mean, that's the kind of shit they do in North Korea.
But then this is the man that says he wants to buy Greenland, and if they won't sell it, he just won't rule out invading them.
Yeah. And then on top of that, he wants the Panama Canal.
He wants it back.
The Gulf of Mexico is going to be called the Gulf of America. And he's also toying with the idea of nicking Canada while he's there as well.
To make it the 51st state, I think he said.
I mean, can you imagine a British Prime Minister going, well, it's great I've been elected into office. I'm looking at France. I think over the years, we've done them more favours, so we should run it and own it.
Well, do you know what? I think if you go back a few centuries, yes, I can imagine it. A British king saying that. Well, I like the look of that country. Let's go and invade it. Because we did, after all, build a big-ass empire around the world.
That's very true. But this is the 21st century, and Trump's sort of emulating this stuff. I wonder whether... You see, I did hear that... Did we talk about this before? That Elon Musk also has a solar panel company. Is that true?
I think he might with his brother or something like that. A long time ago I read about it, but yeah. Who even cares?
I interviewed his dad this week.
Really?
Musk's dad.
What? Amazing. On your radio show?
Yeah.
Did he say anything sensible?
No, he's a f***ing nutter.
Okay. I must catch up with that episode.
Yeah, it's a great episode. So he's back. Trump is back. He's trying to buy up bits of the world that he's got no rights to. His oppo, Musk, is trying to unseat the British government. He did a poll on his Twitter feed, Dale, saying, would you support the idea of America helping essentially get rid of Keir Starmer and save the British people?
Sure. But that's a poll of idiots that follow Musk. I mean, that's a very self-selecting audience. What do we care what they think?
Yeah.
And do they even live here? I don't know. Don't even care. Other thing to say about the Greenland plan, if we can call it a plan, is that big irony here is that Greenland is suddenly attractive, not just to Trump, but to China and Russia as well, because of climate change, because of the thawing, the loss of Arctic ice, the opening up of seaways, passages. There's one along the Russian coast, for example, through which they can trade much more effectively with China and Asia. And they've all got designs, China, Russia, the US, on Greenland and that area because of climate change, which, of course, Trump denies.
So that makes it even more attractive than it would have been, a couple of years ago.
That's why it's attractive.
Yeah.
Suddenly it's a hot spot. The Arctic is a hot spot now for new resource extraction. As the ice cover goes, we can get to the oil and gas and God knows what else is down
places you previously couldn't build on or extract from.
Military bases. He's looking at that as well. It's just like a whole bunch of opportunities in Greenland for real estate developers like Donald Trump.
Well, talking of catastrophes, natural catastrophes, or are they, cost the world $320 billion in 2024. Things like hurricanes, fires, and other disasters. This is huge.
It is huge. And less than half of those sums of money were covered by insurance. So a lot of people have lost a lot of money. In fact, even when they're covered by insurance, people lose a lot of money. There's no doubt about that. You think of the Lloyd's of London crisis some years ago when people got wiped out by big claims. But look, this sum of money, it's akin to the cost of a war in terms of arms or in damage or in economic loss. Whichever way you look at it, this is a sum of money akin to a very large conflict, bigger than the one in Russia and Ukraine, I reckon. And it's about time we looked at the climate crisis as a war and we accepted that the sums of money, the damages that we're going to incur, we are incurring already, are just so big that they justify us taking a wartime mentality in terms of dealing with them.
Do you think it'll get worse before it gets better?
Yeah, absolutely. I do. No doubt about it. But I think it will get better because it'll get bad enough that we do suddenly go, oh, shit, you know what? We need to mobilize against this climate crisis while we can.
Yeah. By the way, I've just remembered a story that isn't on our list, but they did announce this week that wind overtook gas last year as chief energy use in the UK.
Yeah, we've got something similar, though. This next story that UK electricity is the cleanest ever, or was in 2024, with a record 58% from all low carbon sources. But here's the thing. The price of gas is still setting the price of all other electricity 100% of the time in 2024 and in 2023. We've done some analysis. The price of gas, which is set by international markets, is subject to invasions and fears. And the cartel OPEC controlling supply in order to push the price where they want to. All of this is setting the price of the electricity we make here from the wind and the sun, and that's bonkers. And our government really have to get a grip of this issue and break the link between the price of gas and the price of all of our electricity.
Well, connected to that, Antoinette says Dale has spoken in the past about the difference in profit margins for electricity generating companies, with the government seemingly happy to have foreign money invested in the UK to build wind energy parks. Will this not increase the price of electricity for me as a customer if they are allowed to make more profits?
I don't know quite what that means, but I think if foreign companies own our big generating infrastructure, big offshore, onshore wind projects, for example, then it doesn't mean that the price necessarily goes up. The profit margin is not controlled, by the way. That's some market function. It doesn't mean the price of our energy goes up, but what it does mean is that the profits from those projects, which could have gone to us if they were publicly owned, they're lost. They leave our economy, and that's where Great British Energy comes in, Labour's publicly owned energy company, which I think is a great idea. I think, I'm not against foreign investment, but I'm just much more pro public ownership and investment from people that are based here and pay tax here, because that's how we keep money in our economy.
Yeah. Here's some breaking news. Vegans are miserable gits.
I like that.
In fact, it doesn't quite say that. It says vegans are more likely to be depressed, according to a study.
Yeah, according to a study.
I thought it was I always thought that the whole vegan thing was the opposite to that.
Well, look, this is the Daily Telegraph. And I had a quick look.
They know they're vegans.
I had a quick look, and I'm not sure how
vegan over there.
I'm not sure how scientifically sound this study is. I mean, there's no causal link established between drinking almond milk and being miserable. They didn't establish that. And it might be, for example, that vegans are just more concerned about the world. They're more sensitive, right? And people that drink cow's milk just don't give a shit. I mean, who knows? But I think this is a little bit bogus in terms of science. It doesn't say, by the way, it compares almond drinkers to skimmed cow's milk drinkers.
Yeah, those people who drank semi-skimmed cow's milk were 12% less likely to have depression than soy boy McDougal.
Apparently, but what they don't say is what happens to the people that drink full fat cow's milk. Well, why is that not in the study?
They're all dead.
They're all dead.
Heart attacks.
Yeah, so hey ho, I think it's just another kind of piece of bogus right wing science.
You think?
I think. Yeah. Look at me, I'm not miserable. I feel like our stories are a bit miserable today, but
let's try this one. Jay says, love the podcast. I saw that wind is now the dominant source of power in the UK, as we were just talking about. It's amazing news. However, I also read that the UK, we pay some of the highest energy prices in the world. Genuine question, why is that? Everyone is locked into global energy prices, but as we have lots of renewables, shouldn't ours be cheaper, or at least on par with everyone else? That's a really good question from Jay, because I wonder this all the time. I ask guests this all the time, and I never really get a right answer. Why are we more expensive than literally anyone else on the planet?
Well, I think it's the way we've set up our energy market. And this thing I've mentioned before, breaking the link between the price of gas, which is set by global markets, driven by fear and supply concerns and all that kind of stuff. We let that set the price of electricity made here from the wind and the sun. So it's a crazy system where generators bid in to supply into the energy market every half an hour of the day. And instead of getting the price that you bid, you get the same price as the highest person that bids, which is always gas. I mean, it's a bonkers mechanism, which Labour really needs to deal with. They have to break it, because it doesn't matter if we get to 100% green energy by 2030, which they're now forecasting might be 95%. If we leave 5% of gas on the grid, gas is going to set the price of it. And while we should be having cheaper energy from the wind and the sun, we won't be. There'll just be some profiteering within energy generating companies.
So it's a bidding war.
Yeah, you have to bid to be on the grid, and the national grid decides every day how much energy they need, and so they'll take bids from the bottom all the way to the last one they need to fill the pot. But they don't give you what you bid; they give you what the last one in the pot bids, which is always gas. It's stupid.
Well, that just sounds like a rigged system.
Yes.
Well, as my old nan would have said, what a load of old shit.
That's rather polite for your old nan.
Indeed. Here's one from Tim, who says, I'm doing veganuary for the first time. I'm a week in, but I'm desperate for cheese. Are there any alternatives?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
fillet steak. What do you
Oh,
do? Because cheese was always the one. It's always the one that gets some people, isn't it?
yeah,
But
that
there are
and bacon.
alternatives.
Oh, no, there are. I mean, plant-based cheese has come on amazingly in the last few years. I was eating some the other day, and it's made by like one of those mainstream dairy companies called Cathedral. So if you see it in a supermarket, Tim, was it? Give it a shot. It's a cheddar, and it's good.
Yeah. Yeah. So you don't. I mean, when something's good, you just don't need to buy the other, then, do you anymore?
No, it's just good. It just tastes good. It's got everything you might want from a cheese. Says the man that hasn't eaten cheese in like decades.
Indeed, yes.
But
You've
I think
probably
I remember
forgotten
what it's like.
cheese
You know what I mean?
tastes like. Yeah. Can you remember what meat tastes like, Dan?
No, God,
No.
no.
Here's one. FTSE 100 bosses make more money in 2025 by noon every day than the average worker does in a year.
That's bonkers.
Even
Isn't it?
most
This one.
capitalists would go, that's a bit heavy.
Yeah. And look,
Bit
this is one thing,
unbalanced.
right? They may say, "Well, look, we're chief executives of monster companies, right? That bring
Yeah.
all these economic benefits and blah blah blah, and we're special people." And fair enough, okay, they're earning an average of £4 million each per year, and still, I say, fair enough. But these same people say they can't afford to pay a wealth tax, and I don't say fair enough to that. I say, come on, if anybody can afford to pay a wealth tax, it's you guys.
Yeah, I mean, if you earn 4 million a year, you can pretty much withstand, a few rises here and there. I mean, it's not in, even if when everything was sorted, increased for the, to pay people better, whatever you do with the extra money, you'd still be left with like 2 million quid,
Oh, I mean, the wealth
probably
tax
more. So,
wow, no,
I
shed
mean,
loads more because the wealth tax is being suggested like 1 or 2%, right?
yeah.
Which is, I mean, it's a tiny sum of money. Out of 4 million quid, I don't think I want to do the maths live on air, but I think it's like 400 grand.
Connie says, what's your New Year's resolution, Dale Vince?
Off the back of that divorce last year that we talked about in the last episode, I think I'm suddenly feeling free. Kind of emotionally, mentally, to a degree, physically, just to get on and do things. And I'm completely excited by the range of things that are in front of me that we can get on and do. I'm all kinds of like repowered and empowered to just get on and do stuff. So it's going to be more from me this year than I've done for a long time.
Fantastic. So you won't be doing one of those November things.
I might do that. By November, I might want a November, but I'm having a January right now, which is
that kind of works.
It kind of works. On top of having a Veganuary as well, of course.
Absolutely.
Well, every month's a Veganuary for me, but I'm wading in. I'm like, joining in the party.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Should we do some X-rated corner detail?
Please.
For the uninitiated, these are people that get in contact with the podcast, Dale in particular, who aren't what you would call natural supporters or fans of Dale Vince. Start with Raymond at Wood, who says, surely Dale Vince is a parody account.
He might be Raymond Atwood.
Oh, Raymond Atwood, yes.
He could be Raymond Atwood. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, what can you say? What can you say, Raymond? I'm the real deal. Listen to my podcast.
Yeah, listen to it. Hot Scott says, we should stop grifters like Dale Vince from fleecing the nation of taxpayers' money first. He's earned £1,063,348 today alone on wasted wind power.
What a wonderful figure. So precise.
Where did that... Sorry, let's break this down a little bit.
Yeah.
That's a massively random figure.
Yes.
Well, it's a massive figure and it's quite random. What does it mean?
I mean, I think it means he makes stuff up. I mean, I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. I made £1 million on wasted wind power.
Well, yeah, not on
wind power.
Not on energy, on wasted wind. So I think the suggestion, this is me trying to be generous to Hot Scott the tosser, because I wonder whether what he thinks is that you get paid by the government when the wind don't blow.
Oh, it could be that. It could be that. But I don't think any of our wind turbines have been turned off today. I'm not sure that any of them have ever been turned off because we don't build them in a place where there's more wind than people, if that makes sense. We tend to build them where the demand is. So we've never had our windmills turned off, never made money from that, Hot Scott.
Final one from Dave, who says Dale Vince is a blazing arse, but for once he's right. The Tates and Robinsons are weasels.
Yeah, and the Musks. Yeah. Well,
Who's
I'm
he
loving.
talking about?
I'm loving. I don't know about this Robinson. Oh, Tommy Robinson, in it.
Oh, probably. Yeah. Well, he's in jail, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a crim.
Tate. Oh, is that Andrew Tate?
Yeah, I think he's in jail as well, or he's up on some.
He's about to. Yeah, he's got.
He's about to be
pretty grimy, grubby.
And they're Musk's bros, aren't they? They're the people he promotes.
Well, yeah, Elon Musk wants Elon Musk, you pesky Wusk. He wants Tommy Robinson out of jail and Keir Starmer in jail.
I think he wants Tommy Robinson leading the Reform Party.
I think he does. So even Nigel Farage doesn't like Tommy Robinson.
Well, yeah, there's a thing. Even Nigel Farage. But here's the thing. Talking of weasels, as Dave does, Nigel Farage's response when Musk called for his replacement by, I don't know, some lunatic from Norwich, a member of the Reform Party, he said, "Oh, he's an amazing man, but I must disagree with him on this occasion."
I must disagree with him, yes. I want you fired, mate, so you should be disagreeing with him.
He's so lame. He's probably got that $100 million in his eyes, and he's thinking, "Well, I can't say anything rude. He might still give me the money, even though he thinks I'm useless and I need to be deposed."
I think it's about time you and Nigel had a bit of a debate again.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
You've met Nigel. You got on very well with him. Through what I do, I've known him, and he's a nice bloke. You said the same thing.
Yeah,
so
I had a good chat with him.
Let's break some bread together.
No, I'm up for it. We can slag off Musk between us.
Yeah,
if he's up for it.
At least there's a little bit of synergy now between you and Nigel Farage. Dale, that is it for this episode.
Awesome.
It's been great. Awesome. Make sure we are back next week, of course. Make sure you follow Dale on social media, twitter.com/DaleVince or x.com/DaleVince, facebook.com/DaleVince, and on TikTok too.
You got to love it. I do. Let's go 2025. I'm all fired up, I tell you. I really am.
So why you got that tracksuit on?
It's not a tracksuit, but it looks like one. I'll give you that.
Yeah. I thought you were going for a run.
I was in a cafe this morning, and a little toddler looked through the window and saw this on the arm of my shirt. I don't know if you can see it.
It's a skull.
Yeah, and she said to her mum, "There's a pirate in there." That's so funny.